Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Library of Ruina. So in this episode, today what we're going to do is we're going to do this mod right here. Sweet. Oh, just imagine if like every intro I did was like that. I feel, that would not be fun. Because you simply cannot start a Shadow episode without hello everybody and welcome back to the Library of Ruina. Alrighty, so now that we've officially started the episode, what we're gonna do is we are gonna do that very same mod. And hopefully everything's gonna go well. But if it doesn't, hey, that's Library of Ruina, baby. Espada. Okay, how am I gonna make you talk? I'm thinking about it. We're looking at stonks. We're looking at pie charts. And we got 7, right? You know what? I'll just...
Well, Daspa should be here any time now.
Did you call for me, sir?
As expected from our ace, arriving just a few minutes after I called.
Say, why did you ask for me? Is it about the ones who can't even ring the bell?
Well, let's get straight to the point. I received an official letter from the Hana Association. The number of distortion cases have been on the rise recently, right? More casualties have been occurring as a result, and the association is asking us to gather information on the distortions and their weaknesses in order to minimize further damages.
If a public statement like this from Hana came down, then the weight of this situation has grown considerably.
Yeah, so we have to look for more information relevant to the distortions. Alright, then I'm going to start looking into them from now on. The causes, characteristics, and other common features present among those who have distorted, and even their...
By the way, more than half of the fixers from Section 3 went to the library and never returned. Aren't there too few of us left? As far as I know, the available manpower in Section 3 has dwindled so much that their operations were suspended entirely.
Well, even if there aren't many of us left, we can't just ignore the instructions given to us by Hana, right? We need that first stepping stone to make sure we get everything there is to know about the distortions.
Isn't it enough to just find an intel-gathering fixer investigating the distortions and pay them to get all the details for us?
I've considered that, but there are so few reliable fixers on the scene.
Wait a minute, sir. You've been holding that black paper for a while now. What's that?
Huh? Wait, what? I didn't have any documents in my hand other than public statements.
Wait a minute, sir. Isn't that an invitation to the library?
What? The library that wiped out Section 3?
Yes. No matter how you look at it, it has the exact same writings as the invitation would have. The shape, height, and width indeed correspond to that of the invitations. And above all, even the fact that it appeared out of nowhere.
Wait, aren't those the books of the distortions in Section 3 listed on the invitation? I think the knowledge the library holds can certainly serve as a basis for any information about the distortions. Besides, it also seems that we can retrieve the books of the fixers from Section 3 as well.
The information appears to be reliable, but our opponent is the library, a star of the city. Besides, Seven Association isn't the one whose main field is combat, is it? Collaborating with other associations.
No matter how inept the association...
Inept. We're awful at fighting, but we're doing it anyway.
is at combat, Stars of the City should still be doable for us with grade 1 fixers, right? And it's gonna be a solid source of information. Call the fixers of Section 1. We'll be leaving for the library this instant.
Okay, I'll gather them up.
Now we're really going as far as we can go. 7 Section 1 is coming here to the library. Even so, the last time we received the 7 Association, it never seemed to me that they specialized in combat. The Association certainly doesn't specialize in that field, but I guess there's a reason why Section 1 is Section 1. There are many Association fixers who deal with office work more prominently than other fixers within Section 1, but their combat abilities are arguably on the same level as that of Grade 1 fixers. Their fighting method is to subdue the enemy only with restrained movements, grasp the enemy's weakness, and relentlessly exploit it. Anyway, looks like they're gonna be quite a pain in the... I'll rely on you for this one then, Roland.
Surprisingly, it doesn't give off a nasty impression at the entrance like the other Star of the City, right?
Still, I think it's better to avoid any anxiety from the unknown.
Greetings, dear guests. I am Angela, the director and librarian of my roles. Namesake. I have so much fun saying it, just like that.
Hello, name's Espada, the Section 1 director of the 7 Association. We came here because we saw that you hold a book regarding the distortions. But, are you sure about the information in this book?
Yes, the information you seek in the book is indeed correct.
Is it really a machine who runs this place? I wonder why the head doesn't do anything regarding it.
Already getting on my nerves right from the start. How rude. So please, may you find your book in this place.
Too bad. I had a lot to ask.
Well, it doesn't matter. Come on in, Daspa.
Oop, fan's acting up. Hang on. There we go. Usually when I turn it down, it stops spinning as much, and it gets a little quieter. Not today, though. It's staying loud. All right, fine. Alright, hang on. It always acts up when I'm playing Ruina. I swear that thing is alive. Anyway, 7 Section 1 Fixer's Page. Wow, you guys actually aren't... Well, now let's look at the passives before I make any judgment. Weakness calculation. Spreading information. At the start of the act, inflict 1 fragile to 2 random enemies. Concentration. Gain +1 power for the first scene. And respiration. At the start of the scene, restore 1 light if current light is 0. Double information search. On use, restore 1 light. If dice on this page attack weak or fatal resistances, restore 1 additional light. Pretty good. Identify weakness. Dice on this page and the page clashing with it are unaffected by power gain or loss. If 15 or more damage was dealt with this page, change target's 1 resistance to random damage type to weak next scene. On hit, inflict 1 fragile next scene. Double information analysis. On use, draw 1 page. If 12 or more damage was dealt with this page, draw 1 additional page. Double information dissemination. Combat start. Inflict 2 fragile to 2 random enemies. And grasp of the truth. If target has 3 or more fragile, dice on this page treat target's physical resistances as weak. Oh boy. And on hit, inflict 1 fragile up to twice. Okay, so hang on. They don't have a crazy amount of health. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring Caius and Crimson. I think they could solo this. And if not, well, you know, at least we gave them an honest try, right? Okay, so we're all getting fragile. That is perfectly fine. We're all gonna take a marginal bit of damage. Ooh, you like that? Today's word of the day is marginal. We're gonna go for a mince straight away, and then I'm also gonna go for a Tail Whisk. Then we're going to go for Puppeteer's Handiwork. That's going to buff us up a little bit. We're going to go... Actually... hang on. We're going to go Enhancing Strings. Then we're going to go Prescript. Then... technically we could buff her up, and that wouldn't be a bad choice. But I'm going to go for Twisted Delight, because we need to draw our draw and light pages. So unfortunately we are going to take a lot of damage this scene. Oh my god! Okay, who would have guessed having 16 fragile on you makes you take a lot of damage. We might actually just lose this this scene. You know what? Maybe we'll take one more person. I was confident that they could solo this, but with the amount of fragile that's being inflicted, yeah. Alright, well... Alright, as it turns out, taking 16 more damage per attack, you know? Alright, here we go. So we did bring one more person just to see if that helps out a little bit. We do still have a lot of fragile to deal with, but I'm feeling more confident about our chances. And worst case, we'll just bring the entire floor if this one doesn't work out. Look, I'm trying to be fancy, okay? Okay, Twisted Delight does go off once again. We take no damage for the moment. Alerted Anticipation, whoa, does not win that second clash. Very unfortunate. Okay. Take a tiny bit of damage. That's perfectly fine. We're getting close to getting staggered on Sarah. Okay, well, we survived the first turn. That's a good thing. Now, what I'm gonna do... let me think. Level 1 pages. I would... You know what? Actually, hang on. Glitter. That's what I'm looking for. On Caius, because he has a lot of defensive dice. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Target restores 1 light. We can't actually do that just yet. So we're going to go for Puppeteer's Handiwork. Then we're going to go for Enhanced Strings. I'm going to go for... nothing at the moment, and we are going to go for Straining Strings just to get some big damage. Though, I do actually kind of want to clash. Okay, we got primarily clashes there. That's good enough for me. Let's see. No one... Actually, one of you does have bleed. So let's clash that, and then we'll go Fresh Scent. That should basically be good to go. Watchful Prayer. Yeah. There you go. Now, we will go straight to the mark to block right here. And we will go Impartiality right here. Yeah. That reduces quite a bit of damage that we would have taken. Fillet is gonna let us draw... Or no, that lets us restore 2 light, whereas Pierre's page is going to allow us to draw, I believe. Okay, no damage being taken on Caius because he's simply too strong. Crimson finishing off one of them. Okay, we do have a bit more strength because of that. I'm going to go all in right here. So we're going to go for... Let's see. I'm actually going to go double mince. I know that's a little bit of a weird choice, but it's what I'm going to go for. Then we're going to go for Beyond. That way we get some block value. Can't go Path of Conviction yet, even though I want to. We're going to block right here. We go straight to the mark, and then Caius will be absolutely fine. Okay, restoring a good amount of our health straight to the mark is not going to land its hit. However, Mince is going to get so much bleed that next scene, this poor Section 1 fixer won't know what's coming to them. Wow, Crimson actually ends up dying. That's unfortunate. Not the end of the world. We still have a lot of power that we can do. But it does kind of suck, because Crimson's sort of our big damage dealer. So, what we'll do now, I'm going to go for Eternal Strings. Then we will go... I can't do this on myself, right? No. Okay. Let's go The Wing, voracious for knowledge. And then we will go for a Book of Light. Then over here, Alerted Anticipation, we will go for Impartiality. Impartiality right here as well, and then we will try and block that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, big damage being done. The Wing Voracious for Knowledge is almost gonna finish him off. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite meet the mark, and because of the clash, we are gonna be able to use our block die as effectively counter die. And that gets us another stagger. Very nice. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, we don't have much bleed potential anymore. I'm gonna... Are we just going block build on... yeah, you know what? I think I will. Let's go shyness on Caius. And we'll also go today's expression, because that's basically going to be the best thing that we can use right now. Let's then immediately use it. Let's give some strength. This will do bonus damage and basically finish you off straight away. No reason to use any of our strings. I'm going to go needlework. And then Tail Whisk. Then over here we can go Path of Conviction and straight to the mark. I can also go for Watchful Prayer just to get us a little bit more conviction. Let's just try that. Okay, we do take you off, no problem. They're all very afraid. 34 damage. Blocked. I normally don't go for any sort of shy look thing, but Caius is kind of built for it, so I'm not exactly opposed to the idea. Let's go for Puppeteer's Handiwork, even though we don't need to. I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you. And then we block and bleed you. That should take you out, no problem. Let's go Path of Conviction, and then we will go... Actually, you know what? Path of Conviction right here. And then straight to the mark. Bada boom, bada bing. That's this round over. Ooh, unfortunately does end up winning some clashes. So we didn't actually take as many out as I would have liked. But there's only one left. Meal would honestly be pretty good. I'm going to go for Alertness on Sarah. And then Black Swan, because none of them are actually shimmering. And you all know what to do. Wow, get both attacks blocked. Alright, fine, fair enough. Now we are up against Daspa and Espada. So, you have Weakness Exploit, Spreading Information, Information Survey. At the end of the scene, a random enemy's endured resistance to a random damage type changes to normal for the scene. If no enemies have endured, a random enemy's normal changes to weak. Gain 3 special combat pages for 3 types of offensive dice that benefit the user for the scene they're used. Only one of the target's weaknesses page can be played per scene, and once a target's weakness page is used, it cannot be reused until all 3 have been utilized. Concentration, Battle Ready, draw 2 more at the start of the act, and Respiration. The only new page I'm seeing is Digging into Weaknesses. On use, if target has 5 or more fragile, inflict same amount next scene and change target's 1 resistance to random damage to weak. And at the very bottom, if 5 or more damage was dealt, draw 2 pages. Ah, but it only deals 1 to 1, so it's wanting you to get fragile on them. Okay, I see. And then Espada. Pretty much the same so far. Disinformation. At the start of the scene, 1 random resistance of self changes to weak. When hit by the same type of damage, reduce incoming damage by 5. If damage was reduced 3 or more times by this passive, inflict 2 fragile to all enemies next scene. Huh. That's really unique. Start investigation. On use, change target's 1 resistance to random damage type to weak next scene. And investigation success. If 10 or more damage was dealt with this page, change target's 1 resistance It's random damage type to weak. Next scene, on use, all dice on this page gain, if power of opponent's die is reduced, gain +1 power and deal 2 more damage. On cash win, last die gains +2 power up to twice, and on hit, inflict 1 fragile. Next scene. Well then, shall we begin? Also, I'm going to go straight to the mark to draw. Ow. Okay, that's fine. We do end up missing a couple clashes. Even with all of our bonuses, Beyond is going to get us quite a bit of extra power. Apostle. You know what time it is. Okay, Mannequin is going to give us a little bit of disarm for next scene. Path of Conviction. Unfortunately, we do not clash, so we're not going to get that extra 2 conviction status, but Tail Whisk is going to work out quite nicely, and Straight to the Mark is also going to draw us 2 additional pages before our counter dice keeps us squeaky clean and safe. The wings bloom. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to go for extra strength on Hod, since you are currently at your weakest self. We're going to go enhancing strings. And we don't need to use mending strings. I wish we could use it on ourselves. We're going to go for Black Swan. And I'm also going to go for Today's Expression. Actually. Today's Expression down here. And then we don't have any 0 cost, so we're just going to have to hold out regardless. Let's see. Okay, that'll do a ton of damage. Let's see. I'm going to live on for you. That way we can do some big damage. We're going to go for Watchful Prayer. Okay. Now, we're going to go for an Alerted Anticipation. And we are going to go for Impartiality right here. That should reduce a lot of damage, though there is a chance that Caius dies. We're going to go for Lift the Mountain right here. That should win no problem. And then I'm going to go for a regular unlock right there. Oh, yeah. Turning our dice into offensive dice is so good. Okay, we boost the power of our next dice by 2. Today's Expression does get us a stagger. Unlock is starting to go. 40 damage from Today's Expression. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, let's see. No reason to... You know what? We will draw. We'll draw on Hod. Then we're going to go for Enduring Strings, and then we're going to hold. Then I think we just go for Wings, Voracious for Knowledge. I'm going to go Combine Tactics here. Let's go Unlock right here. Then Impartiality, and I think Path of Conviction. And that should take most out. Okay, so we did not manage to get a stagger. However, it looks like this fight is over. Actually, you know what? Oh, you're not good for Hod. Alright, we'll go Lift the Mountain. We can't do Oceans of Feet yet, even though I want to. And then I think we're just gonna go for a little bit of a staggery doodah. And we'll also go Watchful Prayer. Get him. That's a stagger. It won't be enough to kill, I don't think, but it's certainly going to come close, especially when we're doing 24 damage per hit. Okay, now, go for it. Not bad. So obviously, we were a little bit stronger than them, but that initial turn 1, if you don't have a full team of people, that fragile stacks up fast. I mean, 16 fragile, it doesn't matter how tanky you are. 16 damage is 16 damage. That's a big deal. Especially when most librarians have like 100 or so health around there. They were quite the headache to deal with, as expected from grade 1 fixers. Good job, Roland. The amount of valuable information within these books should be plenty, given the association's focus on gathering intelligence. One of the guests was the association Section 1 director. There has to be a lot of information. Whew, I'm tired, so I'll go get some sleep. My shoulders are really heavy today. Roland is tired. Okay. Next up, Frank Fragile. By the way, I don't know who we're going to bring for this one, but, I mean, technically, we could just take Gabura. It's supposedly balanced around Star of the City. So, yeah, why not? We'll take Gabura. She's Star of the City, right? Alright. Frank Fragile. Gain additional speed dice for every 5 fragile on self up to 2. Come fly with me. Upon a successful attack, inflict 1 to 2 fragile next scene. When hit, inflict 1 to 2 fragile to attacker next scene. Body and soul. Upon being inflicted with fragile, inflict 1 additional stack. On a successful hit, deal additional damage equal to half of stacks of fragile on self. Fools rush in, untransferable. Offensive dice gain power equal to stacks of glass body on self and paper skin. Candy cigarettes. At the start of each scene, recover HP equal to stacks of fragile and pierce dice power +1.
The best is yet to come.
On use, restore 2 light, inflict 2 fragile to self next scene. On hit, inflict 1 fragile next scene. And on hit, recycle this die up to twice. Breakthrough. Combat start. When inflicting fragile using combat pages as scene, inflict 1 additional stack. On clash win. Boost next die's max value by +1 and gain power equal to stacks of fragile on self with a maximum of 5. Then,
Nice and easy.
on use, restore 2 light, spend 3 fragile on self to draw 1 page. On clash lose, inflict 2 fragile to each other next scene.
Watch what happens.
On use, restore 3 light, draw 1 page, inflict 3 fragile on self this scene and next scene, and this die's type changes to the type the target is weakest to. If target is weak or fatal to this damage type, re-roll this die up to 2 times. Stand tall. Combat start. Inflict 1 fragile to all characters this scene and next scene. On use, if target has 5+ fragile, all dice on this page gain +3 power. On clash lose, inflict 2 fragile next scene. Last die gains +2 power. On clash lose, do it again. And on hit, inflict 1 glass body next scene. In glass body, all resistances are reduced by X tiers. Lose 1 stack at the end of the scene. That is very strong. That is a very powerful effect. Combat, especially with fragile. Combat start, inflict 1 fragile to all characters this scene and the next scene. On use, if target has 5+ fragile, all dice on this page gain +3 power. On hit, draw 1 page.
Put your dreams away.
All offensive dice on this page gain on hit, inflict 1 fragile to self next scene. Recycle this die for each stack of glass body on target. If the first die hit, this deals plus 50% damage, up to twice.
All my tomorrows.
The cost of this page cannot be changed. On hit, inflict 1 glass body this scene and next scene.
And my way.
Mass summonation. The cost of this page is reduced by the amount of characters with fragile at the start of the scene. Combat start, inflict 2 glass body to each other this scene and next scene, and gain power equal to stacks of fragile on all characters. With no cap, so that can get real powerful. Well then, let us begin. Okay, our counter dice does not work, so we're going to be inflicted with a bit of fragile, but we're doing good damage to him, especially with all that fragile. He's bound to go down before we even know it. We're going to go for vengeance, because if we're going to be made into a fragile, you know, basically get one shot, then we're going to get absolutely destroyed. My way is going to gain like 17 power, so I don't think we're stopping that, and then I'm going to go for Focus Spirit. Didn't manage to block it. He did 76 damage to us. So yeah, that was a little bit powerful. So now we're going to take on the role of the wolf. Okay, let's see. I don't know if we're fully going to be able to stop him. I'm certainly going to try. We're also fatal to everything because we have 3 stacks of glass body, but so does he. You know what? Can we? Oh, we can. Huh. You know what? Great split vertical. Then upstanding slash. And then we hope our counter dice is enough. Here we go.
Fatal. Looks like you have a body of glass.
Oh. Huh. So, this mod I know was made in a very strict time allotment. It was made for a game jam a while back. If you remember all the candy mods we were playing, I believe it was made for that one. So, honestly, Fragile is like, it's a funny thing. Because he's inflicting so much fragile to himself, he'll take like 20 extra damage, and then with glass body, he takes like double of that. But he gains power with it. So it's like a really interesting sort of literal glass cannon thing that's going on, where yeah, he takes a ton of damage, but he could potentially one-shot you. Like he did 76 damage on like turn 2 to Gabura. Imagine if we had more people, or if there were more people on his side, he could very easily wipe out an entire freaking fight in like 3 turns with enough fragile. But with that, I believe that's going to do it for this episode of the Library of Ruina. 2 fragile mods in this one. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And something I was asked is... well, no, rather, I'll ask you guys. Do you think, in the future, we should potentially start reading all of the credenzias, I think that's how you say it, for all of our mods that we've, you know, played through and whatnot? That would be a ton of reading, but if you guys want it, I would be down. Just, it would take quite some time. So let me know what you guys think about that, if maybe we should read all the credenzias, and, you know, I might just do it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.